Good morning. Jesus ascended, and he rules and he reigns over his church. What I want to do is take a series of mornings and highlight something about the core identity of your church, Lifeline Community. And at Lifeline, we have 7 core passions, we call them. Purposefully, we don't call them core values. They're not just things that are important to us, but they're things that drive us. And sometimes I wonder if maybe we don't spend enough time talking about them. And so what I'd like to do is have a series of thoughts for the day that would highlight these core passions for you. They work on the acrostic passion. And so we're going to take one at a time and begin this morning thinking about passionate worship. The P, passionate worship. We didn't just say worship. We said passionate worship for a reason. There's a foundational verse here, and it's found in Jesus' discussion with the woman at the well towards the tail end of it. He says, God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. That's John chapter 4, verse 24. He's pointing out to her that the nature of God, the kind of being God is a spiritual being. And as a spiritual being, God has a concern, and that is that we would worship him with 2 particular qualities. One is, I'll take the last one first, which is truth, that we would say right things about him. Passionate worship is not just about somehow having our attitude worked up and enthusiastic. It's not just about being excited. It's not just a felt thing, although it includes that. It is about saying right things about him, things that correspond to his nature. We want to get God right. He's honored when we say the right things about him, and he's honored not just with us doing it in truth, but with us doing it in spirit and in truth. And I take this to mean a couple of things. One is certainly in a spiritual realm where we're meditative and we're pondering and we're seeking him. There's no question about that. But I think it also has to do with the kind of spirit that we have, that there's a kind of way that we happen to it. And this is certainly indicative of the phrase passionate worship, that we come with a certain chutzpah to worship, if we could say that and use the Yiddish term, but we're going to happen to worship with our full self. So at Lifeline, what we want the substance of truth, but we want that merged with the kind of properties of passion that make it come alive, and that we are fully invested as people who want the glory of God, so we say right things about him, but boy, do we want to do it from hearts that are in a felt way enraptured with him. So we want to worship the Lord in spirit and in truth. And I just challenge you today to think about your own life. It's not about singing songs. It may include that. It's not about just reading your Bible. It may include that. It's not about just prayer, and it may include that. But it's about a whole lifestyle, that you have a Godward focus, and that Godward focus looks rightly at God, says right things about God, and does it from a heart that is just invested with your whole self in him. As the great missionary Jim Elliot said, wherever you are, be all there. Be all there today. Have a great one.